Hello, everyone. I'm Yelena. I'm Cognos Analytics System Administrator, and I'm going to be running today's session where I'm going to introduce you how to access the software. Here is the agenda for tonight. So I'm going to show you how to access environment, how to navigate the interface. We're going to talk about data sets versus data module, data preparation, data explorations, and guess what? I have a surprise. I prepared a short set of videos for you where I break down certain topics step by step. So you're going to like it. There is a link in the classroom. All right? So now, uh, you might be wondering, what is Cognos Analytics? Well, it's self-service and it has an intuitive interface. The whole idea is this. I load the data and it's just going to give me insight about the data. It extracts those insights and I'm not writing a single line of Python code or R code or Java code or whatever language you use. And it's basically you can drag and drop data to the canvas and it provides you visualizations. And the system is going to recommend you related visualizations based on visualizations that you're currently looking at. So you may build, in the next session, we're going to be covering interactive dashboards and stories. Then you can show what data is being visualized. And in general, you can do reports, but we're not going to cover reports in this class, but we have a lot of fun stuff to cover. So I need to tell you all that this session, we're going to cover a lot of material. It's going to be a lot. But don't worry, you will need to watch this session more than once. Trust me, you will need to watch this more than once. That's how that works, all right? So just enjoy. And if there is something you think that you might really need to watch again, remember there is a clock at the bottom of my screen and you may write down the time, positional time in the video, right? And that way you'll be able to go back to that specific time. All right. So now, very important, you're going to be logging into the application in a browser. Please do not use the browser back button because sometimes it could result in the loss of work. The deletions cannot be undone. If you delete the file, remember this is not your PC, there is no recycle bin. The visualizations become permanently invalid if you delete the data set that you use as a source to build them. Now, you're logging into the remote PC, right? So that means you cannot copy and paste text directly. There is a clipboard tool that you need to use, and I'm going to show you. No worries. You want to always save your work, right? Because if the power goes out or something like that, you don't need to be redoing the work. And please do yourself a favor. You want to start working on assignments early. So given that all your accounts have been created after this session, you please check access to your account, right? So how do you access your account? That's the next step. You're going to go to this site, vdi.umgc.edu, and, well, you might be asked to enter your university credentials, the same credentials that you use to log into learning system. But remember, this is a single sign-on, so if you have your browser open, if you're logged into your student email or to learning system, right, to our learning system in another tab, then you might not be even asked for the password. So here is my browser, right? So what I'll have to do, I'll just log in. I put vdi.umgc.edu, right? This is what I see at the moment. Your view might be slightly different because the applications that you see have to do with the courses that you are registered for, right? So here it is. This is IBM Cognos. This is what you need. So what you're going to do is, see this? This is the home. You can access this from home, right? It should be pinned in favorites. And if it's not, then you should be able to find it here, see? So now I'm going to go home. I'm going to click this arrow. And I'm going to click on open, see? That should launch Cognos Analytics. See, now it says connecting. Well, this little security thing is new, but it's going to take a minute. When you log into your account for the first time, it's quite possible that it could take a few seconds longer because it's building your profile. Okay, your account has been created. So how do you access your account? Hopefully, all of you know your university student ID, right? It's a first part of your email. So here it is. I spelled it out for you. Uh, for example, suppose that your student email is msmith@student.umgc.edu. msmith is the username that you need to use to access Cognos. All right. So this is how you access. Password, everybody's password is the same. It's what I did was the password must contain a number and it must contain a special character. So what I did was I took the word welcome. Number 3 is above letter E on the keyboard. So I just replaced the letter E with number 3, right? And I got this welcome. This is the password. This is everyone's password, and your user ID is the first part of your student email, right? Everybody hopefully knows your student email, right? It may not necessarily be an email that you use in your learning system, but it's an email that ends with student.umgc.edu. Everybody who is a student gets this email. But for the purpose of this demonstration, of course, I will not use my I'm not going to use my admin account, right? But I'm going to use the special account that I created for the demo. So I'm using demo 3. This is an account that I specifically created for the demo, okay? And the account is set up with the same permissions as your account. So I'm signing in right now. This is a demo account, right? But it has the same permissions as your account, same roles, all right? So this is how you access it, and I will repeat it later for people who join in late. But what do you see here is it looks like a little take a look. Do you see this little slide out thing? Or click on it. This is a clipboard tool. This is a tool that you would use to copy text back and forth, okay? So to copy something from your PC, you would need to copy in the clipboard, then copy from the clipboard into the application. That's what I meant, okay? Now, please do not worry about uploading files. You will not be able to upload files. All data that you need to use is there for you, and I'm going to explain everything. So now we're going to talk about Cognos and Analytics landing page. I like to actually do the demo, but as I was preparing for this, I took some notes, right? And I'm going to let you have a copy of those slides. All right, so what is it here? This is the middle section here. You're going to see a tile for each file that you had recently opened. And I cleared up all recent. So this is what you're going to see when you log in. This is going to be empty here, this area, right? You won't see anything because you have not done anything yet, right? Now, in here, you have several sections. My content, that's going to be your files. The work that you do, only you can access it, no one else, right? So in my case, I have this data that I'm going to be using today for these demonstrations, and I'm going to discuss it in details. Another section here is the team content, and this is what's happening here. These 3 folders and the first folders, this was pre-installed during the Cognos Analytics setup, right? So, and you've got some samples in there, sample dashboard, samples, visualizations. This folder here, that's what I prepared for you. And you should have access to this. If you don't see anything in the team content, please submit the ticket and it will be taken care of. It's very easy fix, no brainer for me, all right? So now, take a look at this. I'm going to click here. What do you see? I organized it by assignment. So you have very first Cognos assignment, right? The purpose of the first assignment is to show that you know how to access Cognos and just some very simple exercises. And the data that you need to use for that assignment is located in this folder. So see, I organized the data set by assignments. This is your data set for assignment 2. You might be puzzled right now. Where is assignment 2? The assignment 2 is not available for you until you submit the getting started assignment. Getting started assignment is a pre-assignment for assignment 2. All right? So here, why did I put together assignment 3 and 4? Because assignment 4 is a continuation of assignment 3. You're going to select the data set, one of these, and you're going to stick with this for assignments 3 and 4. Okay? Then this one here, this is the last assignment. We're going to talk about this next session. And of course, here, this is a walkthrough data. Some people learn better when they follow along. This is a claims and weather data set that I'm going to be using today, right? So I gave you a copy. You have a copy here, and you can make a copy to your content. And I'll show you. This is what you will need to do for your getting started assignment, right? I'm going to demo it. And the instruction shows it too. Look, here, this is a file. It's located in the team content. You have read-only access for team content, of course, right? So what you need to do to be able to work with this data, you're going to click here, and you're going to do this. You're going to do copy or move. And from here, you're going to click here. So this is my content, right? You need to make a copy of the file into my content to be able to work with the file. You're going to select copy to, not move to. Move to button is, although it's not grayed out, it's not going to work. Why? Because in order to move something, you need to have a right access to the folder, right, to the source. You don't. So you're going to do just copy to, right? So you made a copy of the file to your content, and that's what you're going to use for your first getting started assignment, right? Recent is going to show what I have recently opened. Similar, and you're going to have a tile here for each file that you had recently opened, okay? Here, you can do the search. Like, for example, I can type the word weather, and it's going to give me the set of files that contain the word weather and set of files that I have access to, right? So that's here, right? Well, it's going to be important later when in my content, when you're going to have a lot of files as you start working on it. As you start working on it, you're going to have more files. And sometimes it could be harder a little bit to find stuff where you saved, right? I was a student also, so. Okay, so here, see this? If you have a lot of files in my content, see, this is a nice thing. See this funnel? You can filter by. You can filter to see just the folders. You can filter to see just the data. You can filter to see just the explorations, and etc. See, you have this nice functionality. That's filters. You can get organized. You can create folders here. You just can click here, folder. And for example, I can save it as, I can create folder called assignment 2, right? If I want to save all my files associated with assignment 2 in that folder, right? Then see here, if I want to see only folders, I can see only folders. Then if I have a lot of stuff, I can see only what I modified today, right? Or I can see all, etc. So that's just a sorting option. This is how you can search through my content, right? And this is a general search, right? Homes, just open up this page. I told you not to use the browser back button, but what can you do? Everything that you have open will appear here. See this menu. Right now, I don't have anything open, but when I will, it will appear here. Okay? So I spelled that out for you, right? I explained you sections of what you see here. All right? This is where your data is located. And I showed you, and it's also, the instructions are also in assignments. It will be repeated. Now, what are we going to be doing for today's demo? We're going to be looking at the car insurance claim data. So I have some customer information, such as customer state where the customer lives and customer demographics, right? Income, etc., employment status. Then I have information on the type of insurance coverage that the customer has. type of vehicle that the customer drives, type of claim that happened, and I use that information to estimate my total claim amount. That's the purpose of this data set. I claim, see, I have this monthly premium, claim reasons, etc. So what specifically drives the average claim amount? Which factors are the specific drivers of that? So let's see what's happening, right? So important concept here is data set versus data module. For this first assignment, you're working with a data set. So you're going here and you go into your my content, and you're going to be clicking on this thing straight, and you're going to be creating exploration straight. The problem is you cannot preview this data. You cannot add any filters to this data. You cannot add calculations to this data straight, right? So if there is a calculation that I want to do, or something that a filter or anything that I want to do every time when I use this data, with this approach, I would have to recreate it, right? But I want to reuse my work, right? So what we're going to do is, this is leading to data module. We're going to create, you may customize the data by applying filters, adding calculations and hierarchies to it. And you want the customizations to be reusable. Like, for example, I have a column called monthly premium. Maybe I want a column called annual premium, where I multiply the monthly by 12, right? I want to add a calculation. And I want this to be available in all visualizations, all dashboards where I'm using that data, right? That's possible. But then I have to create a data module. So that way I'm not redoing my work all the time, right? A data module can be used as a source of another data module, but we're not going to do that, but just know it's possible. You may preview your data directly. But what is data set? Data set is just files that was uploaded from CSV or Excel. It was just, you cannot customize, but and you cannot add calculations to it. You cannot preview the data directly. But what was happening was, as I was uploading the data, Cognos was analyzing it and looking at the relationships among the columns, right? But both data set and data module can be used as a source for your visualizations. You can save it. In this case, at the moment, just one content, my content. You cannot save anything in team content at the moment. We're going to talk about the group project in the next session. All right? Oh, also remember this. If you delete data set or data module, all your visualizations are going to be invalid. Okay? And there is no way to fix it. That's it. All right. So let's create a data module. How do we do that? We're going to go here, right? So this is my claims and weather data. I'm going to click on, it's in my content here. I'm going to click on this ellipsis here. It's going to open, it's called actions menu. And you're going to select create data module from the actions menu. Well, let's see what happens. See, it's loading the data module. So what do I have in here? This is a list of columns in my data. Here, it's a list of columns. Each column has an icon next to it. And the column icon, the icon type, it indicates the column data type. So as you see, you've got numeric columns, right? And you've got the categorical columns. What is this? This is a location, right? So it picks up that you have a location like state, right? State code, and a country. This is location data. Response, see this? And you can click here to see the properties of each column. See, that's a property. So the column label in this case, right? This is column label is response. The column is not hidden, it's visible. Expression, that tells how directly the data was read, well, etc. See, I'm going to go over the properties soon. But take a look at this here. Well, what does this do? When I click here, right? See this? I can select grid. This is my data. There we go. I preview my data. And I see my column names across the top, right? This is the column names. Similarly, I can click on the column name here to see the properties, right? I can click and see the properties. Okay, well, some of you may have already mentioned, noticed that this column is grayed out. Why is this column grayed out? Because this column is hidden. What does it mean, hidden column? The column is not available for visualization. So when users create visualizations, they don't see this column, but the column exists. All right? So here, see there is an option to hide from users. So when I use this data set as a user to create my visualizations, if the column is hidden, I will not see it. But the column may still be used as part of calculations that I create here, see? So see, I can show hide. Why would you hide certain columns? Well, sometimes you have confidential data such as people name, person's name, and you want to data module to be accessible to certain group of users, and you don't want them to see certain fields. You do not want them to delete them, but maybe because they're using calculations or something like that, but you don't want to see those fields directly. So you hide it. This data, as you see, we loaded it from the file. So if you click here, expression, it tells you which field from the spreadsheet from Excel file was read to populate that column. This is editable, and we're going to talk about it at some point today. This is identifier, right? It just column usage. Aggregate, it just tells you how the column is being summarized. So let's just go ahead and look at the total claim amount. See this aggregate? So for example, if I want to look at this column by state, aggregate is going to tell us, in this case, it's going to tell us total. So if I was going to visualize this column right now, by the state, it's going to show me the sum of all claim amounts in a state. While we're on this page, let's go ahead and change it. Because if I summarize this column by the state, I want to see average column, average claim amount in the state, right? So I just updated it quickly. And the usage is measured, well, it's a numeric column. And this is a total claim amount. It's going to be a very important column in here. Okay? Then here, this is a screen tip. This is basically if I hover over this column, what I want to see. Sometimes I want to see the text if I hover. All right. So it is just the source. And I'm pulling this column straight from the spreadsheet, right? So that's about the properties here. Don't worry about the relationships. Now, very important, over here, what you see is a file name. And if you see the asterisk next to the file name, it means that the work has not been saved. So we have to save the work because, you can lose it. So I'm going to go here. This is my content. And I'm going to save this as claims and weather data module. Claims and weather data module. Okay. I saved it. And I'm going to click on save. All right. Where does it save? It saved it into my content. So right now there is no asterisk. It means that I've saved all my latest changes. Another thing to note is that those are the undo and redo buttons. They will let you to undo and redo the latest change. Okay? I know the deletions cannot be undone, but this is just the change that you make here to the data. And I'm gonna demo it. So and please do not delete the data set, this data set. You might be thinking, I've got my data module now, so I can go ahead and delete this guy. No, you can't. Because if you go here, if you delete this data set here, your data module will become invalid and there is no way to fix it, okay? Even if you get the same copy of the data with the same name, you can't fix it. That's it. Okay? So now, how do I go back to my data module? I still have it open. Look here. This shows you what you have open, right? And this is what you had recently opened. I'm going back here. Going back to the slides. I know it's a lot of slides, but don't worry, we'll get through it. This is data module interface I just talked to you about, right? Okay. Well, I just talked to you about the column properties, such as data type. Data types are usually inherited from the source, and you cannot edit the data type. Just know that. Okay. Now, oh, I talked about the screen tip. Also, there is something called a comment. That's something that you can put, like a description or something. That's optional property. Okay. Data preparation. It's a very important topic. So what is data preparation? You can add filters. You can hide certain columns from the user view. You can change properties like I just did. For example, I don't want to summarize my total claim amount by the sum. I want to look at the average. So I just showed you, right? You can handle missing values. Some columns have missing values, and I forgot to show you. Well, if you go back to this previous slide where I showed you the data preview, there are some columns have values missing, right? Here, do you see this? These guys here are missing, and we're gonna handle them tonight. It's a long session, but trust me, we will get through it, and you'll need to watch it more than once. Okay, so sometimes the data has unusually large values, unusual values, right? You want to handle them. We want to create groupings. You want to add calculations, and etc. Hierarchy. So that's what data preparation is about. But you can hide column, and I showed you how to hide, right? Show hide. And I explained to you why you want to hide certain columns, right? Now we're going to talk about the filters. So a filter specifies the conditions that must be met for the data to be visible. Otherwise, the rows that do not meet the condition will be omitted. So here, well, to define a filter, you need to build an expression. You use the operators. An operator may contain, it may contain operators that may contain any existing functions. There are two types of filters here. Embedded filter and selectable filter. Embedded filter is a filter that you apply immediately. Like it applied at the data module, and it stays there at all times. Selectable filter, it's something that you define, and you might apply as you do visualizations. You might apply at any time. Uses data module as a source to your visualizations. It's not applied immediately, okay? But you apply it as needed. Like, for example, suppose that I want to look at the claims for personal vehicle of the small size, a lot. A lot of my visualizations and dashboards deal with this type of vehicle. And I want to be able to filter this data easily. So I could go ahead and define my filter in the data module and then apply it as needed, okay? Well, I'm gonna give you an example. There is also a video on each type of filter, separate videos that I prepared for you, all right? So now we're gonna talk about the embedded filter. So suppose that I want to exclude all rows that do not have the effective to date. If effective to date is one of the columns in this data set, and if the effective to date for the policy is missing, I want to eliminate these rows. So let's create this filter. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, see this, you have a column. One of the columns is effective to date, and it has missing values. So this is what you can do. You click here. I'm gonna say manage filters. Now what I'm gonna say, instead of saying select columns, I want to select wire expression editor. I'm gonna select wire expression editor, and I'm gonna click on add a filter. Now what I'm gonna do, I need to define my expression. What is this? This is a list of columns in my data, and this is a list of functions. So what is an expression in here? I want to do effective to date. Effective to date, I just drag and drop here. And what about effective to date? It's not missing, right? So I'm gonna go to my operators, and there is an operator called is not missing. I'm just gonna drag and drop it here. See this? Now I need to name my filter. And in fact, I'm just gonna do this, and I want the names to be descriptive, okay? Effective to that is not missing. You can name it anything, but you want to make sure that it's descriptive, okay? Now what I need to do? Well, I need to validate that my expression does not have any syntax error. Well, it's here. This is called validate. So if there are any errors, it's going to give me the errors. In this case, there are not. What else you have here? This is just a preview. I'm not sure how useful it is, but it just previewing the rows where effective to date is not missing. This is just going to give you the information about this function. Okay. Then prettify is just gonna. This is just nice indentation of the code. Okay. Well, I said that you don't need to write the code, but this is just an expression. I'm gonna click on OK right now. I saved my filter. If I want to edit filter at any time, I can click here and I can click manage filters and I'm gonna see my filters. And I can click on edit filter in here. Oops. At any time I can edit my filter. But if I want to do an expression, right, I can do expression editor, right? Oops. But at any time the filter is edited. It's supposed to show, see this here? It's filtered. At any time I can go back and edit my filter, okay? Just know that. Not sure why it's. So see here, it's expression, and I used only one condition. Effective to date is not missing, okay? And immediately it took out the columns with effective to date missing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another type of filter called selectable filter. And we're going to say policy type contains the word personal and vehicle type size contains the word small. But in this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this code. This is a code. Policy type contains the word personal and vehicle size contains the word small. So let's go ahead and do that. But this time I have to do this. This is a selectable filter. So I have to select this filter here. See this? I have to select this because it's a filter that I'm not going to apply immediately. Right? But what did I say about copy and paste? You cannot do it straight. So what you have to do is you have to open that editor. But now with me sharing the screen, it's a little bit, okay. You still see my screen, right? I'm trying to make sure that I don't unshare. So to copy and paste, you have to use that editor that I showed you earlier, right? So let's close this out. Oops. I close this out. And there is a little slide out thing that I showed you earlier. But right now, because I'm sharing, it's very difficult to, 1 second. I'm going to try to minimize the browser. If I minimize the browser, it might work. Because I see that thing, the menu at the top. 1 second. Still trying. Okay. I'm still trying, guys. Sorry about that. Guys, would you do me a favor? Would you please stop your video if one of you is sharing because it has an impact on the bandwidth? Okay. So you cannot do copy and paste directly, but you can copy and paste through that little thing here. Okay. Now it's adjusting the screen resolution. Do you see this here? And you open this here and you can copy and paste here. See? I copy and paste here. Now I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. Okay. So now it's going to work. It's going to work right now. So what you do is you go here and you're going to create new filter. And I'm going to copy and paste here. Okay. Now I'm going to name my filter personal personal policy or small vehicle, okay? I have to put descriptive name and I'll show you why. So here, this is this, but you're gonna see now, there's gonna be a syntax error in here. It's intentional. So let me see, I'm gonna do this validate, there is an error. And the reason there is an error, because of this code, see? But I wanted to show you what happens if there is an error. I edited this, I check it again, the error should be gone, right? Oh, here, quote, see? Now I'm gonna fix it and the error should be gone. It's gone, okay? Guys, if you're sharing the video, please kindly stop it. I don't like calling out the name, but generally, please kindly stop the video because it has an impact on quality of, it takes the bandwidth and has an impact on the recording and etc. Please, kindly turn the camera off. Thank you. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and save it. I'm gonna click on OK. Okay, now we have to save the data module. See this asterisk, it means data module is not saved. At the moment, my data is not filtered. The filter was not applied, but it was added in here. That looks like a column, okay? It's added here as it looks gonna look as a column. Now, we're gonna go back to the slides. I showed you selectable filter. I'm gonna show you how to use it when we get to it. Now we're gonna do another one. We're gonna do something else. We're gonna handle missing income values. We're gonna replace the missing income values with an average. So whenever you have missing values, there are several ways to handle them. You might filter out the rows from missing values like we just did, or we can replace the missing values with a column average. If it's a numeric column, or we can replace the missing value with a predefined value if it's a categorical column. Here, I'm going to show you an example for the numeric column, but there is a video for categorical column. I recommend you watch. Now, see here, the idea is if income is missing, then we're gonna set it to the average. Otherwise, we're gonna keep it as is, right? So let's go ahead. I'm gonna do copy and paste, right? Well, okay, so here I need to find my column called income. It's in here. I'm gonna go to the column properties. I'm gonna edit the expression for column properties. Remember, expression, it tells exactly what is being read. Okay, good. Closing videos fix the issue. Now I can see this. I'll go here. I click the clipboard. I'm gonna paste this in the clipboard, right? From here, I'm gonna paste it here, right? But if I did not know the syntax, right, I could still do it. Another way to do it without copy and paste would be to go to the construct, and you would have to drag and drop if then else. Okay, you could do that like that too. And then fill in each part. So what's the condition? Condition is income is missing. Then do what? Take an average income. Otherwise, keep income as is, right? You could do it that way. But I did copy and paste here. Let's validate this. Well, this is valid, right? So that's how the logic for my income column is gonna be now. If it's missing, I'm gonna take the column average. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep it as is. And for the next session, I'm going a step further. I can round it. Okay. Now let's click on OK here. Well, see this, and you can see right away that over here, what it did is it took an average income and it replaced the missing values with average income. Okay, this is one way to do that. Or if you have a column that's missing most of the values, you can just hide the column. Okay, so we got that piece. Next one. Now we're gonna do create a data exploration from data module. And here there will be certain topics that can be covered in a different order from the slides. Okay, now I'm ready to close this. I'm gonna save it, but later we're gonna go back to it for something else. But let's close it for right now. It's gonna show right now in the recent. See, I have different ways to access it right now, and it's in my content. Or you can access it from here. You open the context menu and you're gonna create and gonna click create exploration. What's exploration? It lets you visualize the data. When I open this, first of all, what do I see here? In the left panel, I see what? My columns. Those are my columns in the data, and each icon represents different column data type. What is this? This is a filter that I created, right? I want to be able to filter my data to see just personal claim type, personal policy for small vehicles. But if I did not save it with descriptive name, there is no way in the world to tell what this does without going back to my data module. You see, you have to have a descriptive name. Otherwise, there is no way to tell what this is unless I go back to my data module. And we don't have much time to go back and forth, right? As you work on assignment, you want to minimize going back and forth. You want to have descriptive names, etc. And you can see the column properties similarly. But I'm interested to see what's on the right now. Each column is represented as a pin. Here it shows me the columns that I might be interested in to analyze. And right away it's picked up that total claim amount is a column of, and see here total claim amount. This is a column that it wants to be what do you call this? It's a column that it wants to be the target by default, right? Somehow it identified that I will be interested in analyzing total claim amount. Those are the other columns that I might be interested in analyzing. But of course, total claim amount is the best. I'm going to stick with that. And see, it's represented here. I see other columns in here, and this is Arch. Arch shows that there is some kind of relationship between the columns. And when I hover over that arch, it's going to show me the strength of that relationship between columns. Like, for example, total claim amount and employment status, the relationship between those columns is 20%, the relationship strength. See this monthly premium and coverage, the relationship strength is 52%. That's what it does. But what I could also do is, if I click here, it's going to give me some set of visualizations that I might be interested in. Like, see, this is going to be average total claim amount. Do you remember earlier today I fixed it? By default, it was showing the sum of all claims amounts. But we're not interested to see how much money was spent on all claims. We want to see the average claim, right? So if this is something that I want to use for my analysis, I can click on add, and it's going to add this visualization card to my exploration workbook. See this? It added a card. And let's go ahead and add this one. This is a driver analysis, and we're going to look at that too. See, I can click on see more, right? What also I could do is I can click on the two columns, right? Like this is total claim amount. And I can also click on a vehicle class. So I have two columns selected. And it's going to do me visualizations. It's going to do suggested visualizations for two columns. See that? Part of your assignment, you have to discuss the suggested visualizations, part of assignment too. So see, that's a suggested visualizations. See the total claim amount and vehicle class. I can just click here, and it's going to add visualizations to my workbook. Easy, very easy, right? So now, well, this is one way to add visualizations to the workbook. Then when you click on the specific visualizations, what do you see? Well, details, it's just going to give you some insights about visualizations, but that's not something that you're going to copy and paste in your paper. Please just try to understand what it says. Data slots, see this here that shows you what data you are actually working with. Like for example, for each bar, you use vehicle class. For bar length is a total claim amount. A bar length represents the total claim amount, and see that's a scale here. That's what each bar is for the vehicle class. Okay, so and here, if you see this little asterisk, it means that to see the visualization, you must specify something here. See, you must specify what the bar is, and you must specify the length of the bar. And if I'm not interested in a vehicle class, I could go ahead and change this. I can delete this from here, right? I can remove this, and perhaps I can add, each bar to be the state, right? See this? I can change, but I can use whatever was suggested as a starter. Now, suppose that I don't like the change. See this? I can undo, and I'm gonna undo one more time. See, I'm back to what I did. But Elena was telling you, Elena or myself was telling you that you need to save your work. And is she doing it now? No, because there is a little asterisk next to file name. And why does it still say new exploration? See? So Elena needs to save it. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Okay, so let's go ahead and save it. I'm gonna save it here, and I'm gonna say this car insurance, car claims, exploration. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and save that. This is an exploration workbook that I just saved. See, it's saved. There is no asterisk. So I covered this piece, right? What else do I have in here? Well, here I can add new visualization, right? I have an option to do that. I have option to navigate through my cards. This is a bar type. I can choose different visualization type if I want, right? Like this one, I can change here, total claim amount by vehicle class. Can undo. Those are the related visualizations that I might be interested in based on current visualization I'm looking at. For example, I might be interested in total claim amount by marital status. So I can just go ahead, click on the plus sign to add this visualization to my card, right? I can do that. I can delete the card and etc., right? Now what we do, how else can you add visualizations? Well, you can go in here, you can click on new, and I can choose new type, and I'm going to add decision tree. This is a decision tree, right? And I can see for the target, I need to specify the columns that I want to analyze. In this case is a total claim amount. And what happens, see, here you could also search for the column name. If the column names list is long, look, I can just search for it. Total claim amount, and I must specify the target. See this? It's a decision tree. We're gonna talk about it. But I just edited. Let's add another one. And I'm gonna add right now this one, spiral visualization. See here, I'm gonna add the spiral visualization. And again, I have to drag and drop total claim amount for my target. See what I did here? I filtered the list of column names. So I can easily drag and drop, right? Okay, well, what is this? This is called the bull's eye diagram. And it shows you each pin represents combinations of drivers that determine or drive the total claim amount. The driver with the highest relationship is going to show at the top. See this is a combination of vehicle class, employment status, and marital status. These three columns. So I have one-way driver, I have two-way driver, and a combination. I can toggle it. Let's look at one-way driver. This is a single column that drives the total claim amount. Pay close attention. See here, vehicle class. Vehicle class has a driver with the highest predictive strength. So why is this important? Because the single driver with the highest predictive strength is going to be the column that is used as a force split column when you build your decision tree, okay? See, this is going to be the force split column, right? So see here, each pin, the closer the pin to the core, the stronger is the relationships, right? Well, see monthly premium, auto, and when you hover, it just gives you relationship strength, and same here. But unfortunately, you cannot click on it to see visualization. You have to do something different, and I'll show you. So see, so this is both eye diagram. You can look at the two drivers, and you can look at the combinations. But to see visualizations for each driver, what you need to do is, there is another visualization called driver analysis. Well, I added it here. I added it earlier. This is a driver analysis. It's a both eye diagram sliced. And let's do this. You can close this panel, and you can close that panel too. Okay, I close this. Okay, now, see, this is a driver analysis. And what I can do, I can click on this driver, and it's going to give me visualizations. Well, right now, this is showing me the income and is a predictor for the total claim amount. That's a visualization for that. This is different column. Well, sometimes, okay. Well, there we go. This is a total claim amount by employee status. This is a total claim amount by number of policies and the claim amount, well, etc. The visualization type that it shows depends on my data type. And of course, I wanted to, if I want to, I can click on a plus to add these visualizations to my workbook. See this? I click on this plus, and I can, if I click on a plus, I can add it. But if there are multiple drivers, the visualization is going to be what? Guess what? Decision tree. I added it directly, but you could click here also to add this. So this, now we're going to talk about decision tree. It's a little bit different order of the slides, but I like to get this topic out of the way while you're still fresh. Well, okay, so let's go back to our cards, and that's a visualization here. Decision tree is like a flow chart, if you will, right? So let's click. Here we go. Well, this is like it's like a flow chart, and it's collapsible. It consists of nodes. The nodes can be collapsed and minimized, right? So how do we do this? How do we read this? Let's collapse all of this. Well, you're gonna look at it this way. So the first bar, this bar represents all data. So when I hover here, when I click here, it's gonna tell me the number of rows in my data, which is 9,136 rows in my data, and this is average claim amount for all data. Okay. Now, I want to build a decision tree model that I can use to estimate my total claim amount for the specific claim. How do I do that? Well, do you remember earlier I mentioned that the driver, one-way driver with the highest predictive strength is used as a force predictor, right? Vehicle class. So, well, way it's done is this. The vehicle class is used to split the data. I'm going to look at the vehicle type. It's a two-door car. Is it a two-door car? Is it SUV or is it a luxury? And I take a pass. I travel to the node based on what type of car it is. Vehicle class, suppose that it's a two-door. I click on this node. I hover this node. Do you see this? It tells me that I have 6509. This is a number of cars that are either two-door car or four-door car. 71% of my data falls in here. And those type of cars have an average claim amount of $351.43, right? Let's drill down further. Is this the only factor that drives this? Let's click on that. Well, next thing is unemployment, right? Employment. So next question, I'm looking at the employment column. Suppose that the record in question person is employed. I'm going to cover it. Well, take a look at it. So we have about 45% of our data falls into this criteria where average claim amount is $293.72. And the data is two-door car or four-door car, vehicle, and a person is employed. So that should be average claim amount, but we can drill down further, right? Because we want to be more specific, and we look at the monthly premium next. And we're going to say, okay, is monthly premium less than or greater than 94, right? Well, see this, and we take a branch based on the answer to the question. If it's greater than 94, we are done. We've reached the terminal node. Then this is the average claim amount here, $401.95. This is if average claim amount is greater than 94. So see, we have a set of rules. We arrive to the set of rules in here. See, we need to traverse the tree starting from the top to the final node that we reach. See, and the color code of the node tells the relative total claim amount. The darker the node is, the higher is the total claim amount. And of course, we expect the higher claims for the luxury cars, right? Luxury. Okay, now see this is for monthly premium amount for the employed, right? If it's less than 94, well, then we have another factor to look at is a vehicle size, see, medium. That's it, we reach another terminal node. If it's small, we reach another terminal node. That's one way to look at these rules. Sunburst diagram, this one does not tell you the rule, it does not show you the rule, but it showed you the percentage of data, portion of data to which the rule applies, if you will. So if you collapse the tree, you also collapse in this diagram, right? Well, see this is a sunburst, and it tells me that right away. I see that the first driver is vehicle class. Most of my data falls into two-door car, right? But I need to tell you, like, if list of your data is luxury cars, it does not mean that it's not important to analyze. You want to analyze it also, right? 4% of data, but you want to look at it also sometimes. It does not mean that it's unimportant. But right now, take a look at this. I know that, and I can click on it further. It's going to show me next predictor. It's an employed. But see this? Well, what it does is it takes that slice. It takes the slice for 2- and 4-door cars, and it splits it further into the employment type. See that? And we know now that most of our data is for the 2- and 4-door car and for employed. I can click on it further. See this? Now I know that most of my data is a 2- and 4 car, and this one is the employed and the premium under $94, my monthly premium. Well, this is how you read this, right? You trace it. But remember, you have to create at least 2 tree diagrams. In this specific example, to create a second tree, perhaps you might be interested to look only at luxury, right? Maybe you want to have a separate decision tree for the luxury cars. Why not, right? Then you would go in and you would filter the data. So I have my tree diagram here. I can open. Well, that's an insight, but I can also, what I could also do is I can open this here, the properties, and I can add my filter here, right? I can say, vehicle type. This is important because you have to do the two decision trees, right? This is what one option for this data set. I could look at the luxury cars only. So I can find my vehicle class, and I can drag and drop it to here, vehicle class, and I can select that I want only this luxury and SUVs. And I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna see the data module only for the luxury cars. See this? You have to do two decision trees for your assignment, and I'm giving you example on this data how I could do it. For this data, I have an option to look only at the luxury vehicles. See this? And I can see my sunburst diagram for the luxury vehicles, right? I want to analyze just the luxury vehicles. That's one option for your second decision tree diagram. Another option is to do this. You can go to the here, and you can include which columns you're using for the drivers. This is going to be in assignment 3. You're going to need to watch it again. Okay, see this? I can remove claim amount from analysis, right? And I can just, because I have a total claim amount, maybe there is a kind of correlation between claim and total claim. I don't want my claim, something like that. Or if I don't want my effective to date, I can remove it from analysis, and I can click OK. Well, this is just one way. Well, it's another way. I'm just showing you an example on how you can do, because you're asked to do two trees. In this case, my first tree was for all data, and the second tree was only for the luxury cars. I know there is a small percentage of data, but if it's small percentage, it does not mean that it's not important, right? Okay, so we got that piece covered, decision trees. Oh, and also there are rules. In here, it's just the rules spelled out. Well, like for example, if my monthly premium auto is greater than 138, and if my income is under, this is if my income is under than 24K per year, and if my marital status is single, and this is a vehicle class, this is the average expected claim amount, what it could be. See, what I can do is I can go through these rules. When I have new record, suppose that I have a new claim, I can go through, I can traverse my tree, or go through the set of rules to see which rules closely matches, the closest rule that matches my new data, to estimate what the total claim amount is going to be. See, I can look at that. See, okay. Well, see, this is another option that you have. I can remove the filter at any time. Remove filter. But I just showed you an option on how to produce the second tree. Okay, I just removed it, and you can sort this by predicted value too. See, this is just the rule. Okay, now let's go back to the slide. It's a lot to cover. Trust me, you're gonna get it. We get there. Well, this is just the exploration interface, and we talked about it. Just different visualization. I showed you how to add visualizations, right? Multiple ways, but I did not show you that you can also add visualizations through the, well, I showed you starting points, but I did not show the embedded assistant, and I have a detailed video on this guy here. If this is just, you're gonna like this guy here. You click here. Well, if you type the word data, it's just gonna show you what data you have access to. You can click on the data here. Explicitly, what it does, it's running this command. You have to type show source and the name of the data set. What it does here, it shows you the columns that you have in the data set, and for each column, it's going to show you column data type. If the column has unusually large or small values, the value is repetition. If it's an identifier, and etc. See, outlier is an unusually large or unusually small value. And see, I can scroll through this. I can click on any column, see, and it's going to give me the details for that column. Then here, it's going to show me some interested fields that are related to the income, maybe like employee status, right? I can click on that. Or you can also look at what influences column income. When I click on what influences, it's going to give me a list of columns that may influence. And let's look at this. It's going to give me what? Visualizations, right? 2 visualizations. I can scroll through this, right, and select any of this. This might be a bad example, but how do I get back to that command I ran earlier? See, I want to rerun this. I just click it here, hit enter, and it's gonna rerun this, show column income. I can literally type show column income, and it's gonna give me the properties of that column income. It's gonna search through the data sets that I have access to for the column income. See? And see this, you can look at what influences column income. And it could be perhaps, let's do employment status. Now I got better visualizations. So what I could do here, I go new, and if I like certain visualization, I can drag and drop, but there is a problem in here. What is a problem in these visualizations? You can see right away. What did it do is, it took the sum of all incomes. Remember earlier I told you that aggregate property tells how the column is being summarized. It took the sum. So what you can do is, at a moment, you can just click here. You can change it here. See this? This is summarize, and you can change this to average. See, I can do that. But isn't it annoying or difficult or laborious to do it all the time when you have this column in the visualizations? I think it is, right? Well, you have several options here. Not the best option is to go here to your data, right? And you can change it here. You can find the column here. You can go to the properties and change it, aggregate here. If I change it here, it's going to apply to all visualizations in this workbook. Okay? What I did a minute ago, I only applied to that specific visualization, but I want to apply all visualizations in this workbook. I have to change it here. Okay? Single visualization here. All visualization is a workbook here. All visualizations in any workbook for this data. I have to make this change in data module. Okay. Now we're going to look at the hierarchies. Some data is a hierarchical. For example, it could be the state and certain location within the state. It could be, you could look at the data by a year, by months within a year, etc. Another example would be your assignment 1 that you just finished. I can look at the average grade of all students, of all data 610 students for assignment 1, or I can look at the average grade of the assignment 1 by the session, right? So I can drill down. The data could be hierarchical in the nature. And sometimes we want to be able to drill through the data. How do we do it? We need to create navigation paths. At this time, I'm going to create it here, but note it's not going to be available in other explorations because I'm not doing it in data module. So here it is. I want to be able to drill through the state. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to add state here. See, I'm adding state. After state, I want to add the location code within the state. Okay. I have two levels here. I created a video where I'm showing you an example of hierarchy with 3 levels. So watch that. Okay, so here, this is a name. It's editable, but by default, it's going to list the columns that I use in the hierarchy here. I'm going to click OK. Well, now what does it do? Let's go here, and I'm going to do new visualization. And for the visualization type, I want to choose part of the whole tree map. So here I want to look at the percentage of my customers per state. So now what I can do is area hierarchy, and I want to drag and drop the state in here. State. Sometimes things have a bad day, right? Okay, here we go. Now, well, why I don't see visualization? Because data slot is required if it has a star. So what I have to do is I'm gonna do the customer because I want to show the size. It's gonna be the number of customers, right? Remember, aggregation shows how data is being summarized, right? Summarize. And how am I summarizing? It's gonna do count distinct. So it's not gonna be doing number of claims, it's gonna be doing number of customers because a customer may have multiple claims, right? So count distinct is gonna do number of customers. See this, each state is represented as a tile. And it just, see, now if I click here, it shows me what data is being visualized. See this? Well, this is data being visualized, and this is all data. See, isn't that neat? It shows me the state and the number of customers in that state. But now what I could do is, for example, I want to focus on Missouri. I can right click here and I can select this here, drill down. When I drill down, it's going to show me the location code without that state. See, and it's showing me number of customers by the location code. Now I'm going to click here. It's going to preview the data being summarized. So the state is fixed at Missouri, right? State is Missouri. And this is a different location in the state and the number of customers at each location. Okay, so basically the hierarchy allows me to drill up and down. Like in your case, I could do average grade, right? Average grade for assignment 1 by semester, by the session within semester, etc. Okay, so here we go. Now, I can go back up. How do I do that? Again, I can right click and I go to here. It's going to go back. Well, see this? I'm back to what it was. So that's a hierarchy. Let's go back to the slides. It's a lot to cover, but please bear with me. It's a lot of interesting stuff. I showed you how to use assistant, right? The topics that I cover in a different order. So I showed these are just different visualizations. I showed you how to look at what influences. And I showed you, see, you can just drag and drop and you add these visualizations. Nice and interesting, right? We just did navigation path. That's a drill down I just showed you. Calculations, we're gonna cover calculations next. There are some slides in there for decision trees. We already covered those, so no worries. Calculations is an expression. So now I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna go back to my data module. We're gonna add some calculations. I can close this. Okay. I'm gonna open the data module now. So click here. See, it's appearing in my recent. I'm gonna do edit. Well, first I'm gonna, there are two types of calculations. The first type is an embedded calculation. It's stored, the value is stored, it's stored as a column. And you have a value for each row. That's an embedded. There is also the standalone calculation. And that calculation is not stored in the table itself. It's not stored in a single row. It's stored as a single value. And I'll show you both. Well, first things first, let's do this. Let's create a calculation. And we're gonna create, let's say I have a monthly claim amount, right? So I want to create a calculation called annual claim amount. So I can just do, and I like to use the editor. And I'm gonna call the new column. It's gonna edit as a new column, and I want to call it annual, right? And we can edit this. Instead of monthly, I want to do annual, right? Annual premium author. And what I want to do is I can take this column here and I want to multiply it by 12. So now I supposed to, it's gonna add a new column called annual premium author, and it's gonna be monthly multiplied by 12. And it's gonna add the column to the front. See? Well, I have to slide to see it. Annual premium author, see? Well, this is one. Now what we can do, you can add something like, well, suppose that I want to see the premium. I want to see the average premium for the state that I live in, right? I want to see average premium. I want to have a column that stores average premium of the state where I live. So we can do this. I can click right here, and I can do the calculation, and the calculation is gonna be average something like I do premium, right? In average premium per state, right? Okay, now what I need to do, I need to find this column, right? Well, first of all, what function I want to use? I want to use a function summary, and I want to use average, right? Average. And the column that I want to use is a premium. So I'm gonna, if I don't see it, I can search here, see? I want to do monthly premium, so I'll just drag and drop here, average monthly premium. And in here, see this, it's showing me the syntax. So I can do for, and then here I can search for my column. I believe I call it state. Well, yes, for state. See, now I can just preview it, right? I can just preview and see what happens. See, this is a preview. Well, see this? Well, this is preview, state on average, right? Okay, and I can save it. Okay, it's supposed to add the column. Okay, see this average per state? I got it added here. So for example, this person here lives in Iowa. This is the average claim in Iowa, something like that, right? Next thing, there is something called the standalone calculation. Suppose that I want to store overall average claim amount, but I want to save storage, right? It's the same number for all records. I want to store it only once. So how do I do this? I click here, but notice I did not click next to this data set. I click up here. And I'm gonna do calculation. And for this one, I'm gonna do the function summary, and I want to do the average. And in here, I'm gonna do the column, and the column is gonna be total claim amount, right? So let me, sometimes, oh, here it is, total claim amount. See that? What is this? This is well, there is a file, right? There was an Excel file from which I read the data to create the data module. The data file contains several spreadsheets. This is several tabs. This is the name of the tab in that Excel file. And this is a column name. So just to make sure that I get my syntax right, I like to drag and drop the columns. Okay. Now I can do validate. And I can do the preview. Oops. Not sure what it does, but I'll look at it. Oh, that's a calculation, and that's a total claim. So here I just took the average, right? Now let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's save. Okay, let's save. Let's see what happens. See, this is a calculation. It added the calculation here. Okay, it added it as standalone. It's gonna store it only once. Now, sometimes I want to look at data ranges. Next topic is called data group. So let's explain it. Let's have a simpler example. Your course grade. When your assignment is graded, you're getting a specific score. 95, 85, 80, right? But the grade that actually goes to academic records is your letter grade. So here what you have is a concept called binning. So if your score is 90 to 100, it's an A. If it's 80 to 89, it's a B. So see where I'm getting at? That's a concept, the whole concept of binning. You can discretize, or you can bin the numeric column, like a grade. It can be numeric grade, or it can be a letter grade. Letter grade is a bin. We can do something along this line here. So what I'll do is, for example, which column you want to look at? We can look at income, or we can look at the, well, we can look at income. Let's find, this is income, right? I want to create something called like income category. Like, for example, I want to look at it like a rich people, middle class, etc., right? But there is an option for it to be categorized for you. So let's say create data group, right? See this? I can name it. This is original column, income, and this is an income group. So let me tweak a name a little bit. I want to say income category. Income category group, category. Oh, and see, it can pick up when you spell it wrong. Well, see this, there are what? 5 groups. By default, it's gonna do 5. You can change the number of groups, right? You can change the ranges for each group. See? You can specify how to handle missing values, and etc. See, by default, 5 groups. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and actually create this. Okay, I'm gonna go create. What it's gonna do, it's gonna add 2 columns. One column is gonna be the bin number, and another column is gonna be the actual. One column is a bin number. You saw it. There are 5 bins, and one column is the actual value. The bin number is hidden. Okay. See this? It's gonna add it like this. Similarly, you can also bin the categorical columns. So if you have this in here, vehicle, oops, I believe it's a claim type, policy type. See this? I can bin policy type, so I can click here, and I can do create a data group. Oops, not policy, and I can do create data group. But for the categorical columns, it's different. It does not give you predefined groups. You have to create group. So I'm gonna do the new group, and I'm gonna call it corporate, right? Well, see here. Well, what is this? This is a list of valid values. And what I could do is I have to add values to the group. You see, those are the values that this can have. And I selected the group. Here, I selected the value, and I can click on the arrow to add those values to the group. See? Now I need to manually create another group, and I can call it personal. Okay? And I'm gonna add this personal values to that group. Personal. Okay? Now I'm gonna add another group, and it's gonna be the special. Okay? Now I'm going to add values to that group. It's special. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And I'm gonna click OK, right? Let's scroll down. Okay. What this will do, it will add a new column. 1 column here. Okay? And I'm going to save it. See, this is 1 column, and it added it. Oops, I have to scroll here. See, it added this 1 column. I'm gonna save it. Now what I'll do, I'm gonna exit this. I'm gonna reopen my exploration workbook to show you that the columns that I just added are gonna appear here. See this? This column that we just added. This is a standalone calculation. It appears here, okay? Well, this is a group that I created. It appears here. Also, annual income, annual outer, right? It appears here, annual premium. Everything that you edit appears here, and it will appear in all exploration workbooks where you use this data as a source. Now, few things that I may have forgotten. Remember, we created personal claim filter. We created the selectable filter. So I have my cards here. See this total claim? I can open this card. I can go to the data slot. And I can go to here, go to my data again. And I can find this filter. And I can drag and drop. This is how you apply selectable filter to visualization. You define it once, right? We did it earlier in this session. And you apply it anytime you need, whenever you use this data as a source. I don't need to redefine this filter here. I want my work to be reusable, right? See, there we go. Now, next thing is this. I'm going to delete this filter, remove this filter, and I'm going to add another filter. It's going to be the gender. I'm going to drag and drop gender to the filter. Copyright. It did not. Okay. All right. I have to delete that. I'm going to undo. See? It's very easy. Undo. Gender. Well, you have to make sure that the data slide is highlighted. I added the gender filter, and I'm going to filter it to females only. Okay. Now, I'm going to go up. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do this one. So it's this, right? I want to duplicate this one. I want to duplicate this visualization, and in here, I want to change this value. I want to change this value to male, right? I'm doing it for a reason, and the reason is this. I'm going to do right now, I'm going to select both of them. Now I'm going to click here, and I'm going to select compare. What does that do? Well, sometimes I want to know if gender has an impact on total claim amount by vehicle class. So I know this is a vehicle class, right? I want to know for each vehicle class, does gender have an impact on the total claim amount? So see this, I can hover like this. Well, maybe there is some impact, but not. Yes, there is an impact for the luxury cars. Take a look at this. Males have a larger total claim amount for larger for luxury cars. Males have a larger claim amount than females. See this? I hover here. I'm looking at this bar, luxury car. See, this is a total average total claim amount for the males, and for the females, see, it's smaller. I can do this comparison. Somehow males have a larger total claim amount, see? And it applies for most of the vehicle types, see? Do females are more careful drivers? I don't know, but that's a suggestion here, I guess. Or, well, this is a total claim amount by vehicle class, and I'm looking at it by gender. See, there are two values. It's something handy for you, see? Maximum, and you can even see this, see? It looks like gender does have an impact. See this higher minimum, higher maximum, etc. So now let's go back to the slides. I talked about this, and I spelled it out for you because long time ago I was taking notes, so why not to let you have a copy? Remember, we talked about the spiral model. All of this was covered, right? Driver analysis, we covered. I just have slides in different order because these topics can be covered in different order. And I have a separate visualization on the sunburst, etc. So this was a topic I just covered now. That's a comparison card topic, right? And this is how to save. I showed you earlier because you need to save it. You don't want to lose stuff in the middle, right? This link, well, bookmark it. Place a bookmark for this link in your browser. You're gonna love it. It's a gift for you. I created a set of how-to videos. They're broken down by different topics. For example, how we create a data module, how we handle omission values for categorical columns, etc. See? So that was just for you. basically what happened was some of those videos started as a student's question. But how are you going to answer a student question just in writing? Sometimes it's easier to show it, right? So I created a small video as an answer. But then I said, wait a minute, maybe let's share this answer with the rest of the class, because others may have the same question. And I ended up with a nice playlist, hopefully nice. Hopefully you enjoy it, but you may need to watch this recording and the playlist multiple times. Now, I have to tell you, mark your calendar, please mark your calendar. In 4 weeks from now, so right now is the January 31st. Please mark your calendar. On February 28th, we're going to have another session. We're going to talk about the dashboard, and we're going to talk about stories. This is a fun topic. I cannot guarantee, but that presentation is slightly shorter. Not short, but slightly shorter. But I really appreciate your attendance. Please attend the live session. That is an opportunity for you to ask questions. By that time, you're going to have experience, more experience with the software, right? So now it's your turn. Questions. I know it's a lot, but please, guys, please, 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 questions. In fact, you're allowed to unmute yourself to ask a question. Let's do it this way. One at a time. We can try, or you can put in the chat. Questions. No questions? Well, okay, a little bit about me. I love questions and I love students who have questions. Well, some of you might be wondering if you're gonna get the slides. Okay, I'm gonna send it to your professor. It depends on which session. Okay, I'm gonna send this to all professors. Okay. So, questions. Yes, go ahead. Ines, you raise your hand. You have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. I think I missed a little bit when you say that if you make like a mistake, you have to do undo button instead of delete.
Yes, you cannot delete the files. That's what I'm saying. Don't delete the file. Well, you have to undo. There is an undo button. What I'm saying. Well, if you go in here, I do something that I don't want to do, right? If I delete something like this, like I have a visualization here, and I was not careful and I deleted it. I still need it. I can undo. You can undo. There is an option to undo. But what you cannot undo is this. Let me save it. What you cannot undo is this. If I do this, if I'm not gonna do it, but I'll just show you. If I do this, and if I select delete from here, I cannot undo this. It will be gone forever, okay? If I delete it, it cannot be gone. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that we answer it because this is very important topic. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Most welcome. Extremely important, guys. Extremely important. There is a dependency. Even if I upload, each data set here has a unique number associated with it. And any object that you create with that data is pointing to that number. So even if I delete this data, even if I manage to re-upload it, and even with the same name, there is no way to fix this data module. There is no way to fix this explorations. For that reason, we said, okay, the student will not be re-uploading data. All data will be available because we don't want you to make changes in Excel and upload, and then you're going to lose all your work. Trust me, that approach was tried before. So, no. Well, you have to, no, you're not going to be able to use the desktop version. You don't need to install anything. You have to use the version NVDA. There is no. Another thing, another reason why you want not going to be doing the desktop version is because for assignment 5, you're going to be sharing the work with your classmates. And I'm going to set up shared folders, and I'm going to spell the details out for you. But your assignment 5 is going to be grouped. And here you have all your data. And also, if there is an issue, me or someone else like the TA, they could log into your account and check it for you. See, there is a way for us to access your account and to see if you reproduce it when you log into your account on behalf. It's easier to help you when we have access to your account. You see what I'm saying? And also, the data here is being backed up by university. If you saved it, you should not lose it. You should not, unless there is a big crash something. But, save it, take screenshots, save yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yes, but you know what I'm saying? For this assignment, you're going to be using the data on VGA. If you registered, everybody should have access to this VGA. And I created everyone's account, right? So you want to, after this session, please test access to your account. How to log in? Okay, I'm gonna go back to it again. You have the slides here. You have the slides. This is very important. I need to make sure that everybody knows how to access. Well, see this site? This is the URL that you're going to use. Okay? The URL is going to take you either to the single sign-on page for the university, or it's going to take you straight to the VDI environment. In my case, I was logged into my email account, right? A university email account. So that's why it did not take me to the single sign-on. But well, this is where you go. Oof. Now it's because for the faculties, all right, it's different story. I cannot just access. I need to go through this step. I need to put my password, and it's a two-factor authentication. So bear with me. It's only for the faculty what I'm doing now. Now it's gonna do. I did not want to do that. Okay. So basically for the faculties, we have the two-factor authentication. Every time when I try to access that page, it gives me a phone call and I need to enter certain number on the phone. But anyway, you're gonna see this page. For students, it's not gonna be the case what I just did. When you enter, see, you're gonna see this page. You're gonna see the Cognos icon. You need to go back to the slides. See here, your username is the first part of your email. You have student email. You have an email that ends with student.umgc.edu, don't you? I hope you know this email, right? This is the email that you use to access learning system, right? UMGC has a learning management system. We call it Leo, right? It's a D2L, desire to learn Leo. This is a part, this piece here, this is your username. Your password is welcome. W3LCOME exclamation point. When you log in, important, you want to make sure that you log in, and there is another check in there. You want to make sure that you have access to the folders that I showed you. Okay? Well, I'm here. When you log in, you want to make sure you have access to the team content. See what I just showed you, those are the crumbs, and it shows you location where you had opened recently. Okay? Oh, okay. For the purpose of this course, you're not gonna be using data that's from other websites. Okay? All data sets are given for you. This is the data that you need to use for assignments, and I broke it down by assignment for you. For example, assignment 2, here is the data for assignment 2. Assignment 3 and 4, you have to choose one of these. Yeah, I have it prepared, but if you have a solid reason for using the data not in here, and if we have a permission, right, then I will take care of it. Okay? Oh, thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you for confirmation that you're able to log in. But you're going to be used in this course just to keep you focused on analysis. We don't want you to focus on searching, spending the whole week to find the data set. And some data sets are not suitable for a certain software, right? Here, for this Cognos, in this version, there is a limitation. You can only do driver analysis for numeric columns. You cannot do driver analysis for categorical columns. So we picked the data set where the column that you're going to be predicting is numeric. Okay, so there are some each software has certain limitations. This is a closed source where you do not see the implementation. So we picked the data set for you, but you have plenty of opportunities to use your data sets in your future courseworks. But here it's picked for you. Okay. So, well, see, there is data here. This is assignment 2. Well, this is assignment 3 and 4. We'll see. But because we cannot do the targets, we cannot handle the driver analysis for categorical columns. We have to use only the data sets where you predict the numeric column. Okay. Yeah, you have to write a paper. So you look at the assignment requirements and look at what needs to be answered in a paper. Yeah, it's a paper, correct. But you need to analyze the data for the paper, so you want to start early. And what could happen is that assignment is due today. Let's suppose assignment is due today. Today's Tuesday. Assignment is due today. Everybody wants to log in the last minute. And guess what? Be prepared. It's possible to have the system overloaded. Sorry, I hate to tell that, but it's quite possible when you wait until the last minute to work on the assignment, everybody is trying to log in on the last minute, you may see a slight impact on performance. This is normal, and this is to say, hey, early bird gets the worm, start early, you're not going to have any performance issues, right? But if VGA is shared for other courses too and other programs. If thousands of people log in to do their homework on the last minute when the work is due, expect the unexpected. Once you set the current work but wish to revert to previously set version, well, what you have to do is you need to save the file as a copy. Yes, it's possible to save multiple copies. So like I'm gonna do right now. Well, scissors, I'm gonna go my content. Take a look at this. I have a cars exploration, right? What I could do is I can say scissors, copy or move easily, right? I created a folder called assignment 2, and I can make a copy of this. See, this is my content. Well, assignment, this is a folder. I can copy, I can make a copy to, there we go. I have a copy of the file. See? I created a separate folder, I can copy it in that folder. Or I can also do this. I can open this exploration and there is an option to do save as. See, save as. And see, this is in my content. I'm in my content right now, and I can save it as backup, right? I can give it like this. See, I can save it under different name. Well, see, there we go. Let's close this out, and you can see it. It's here. See, I saved the backup. Absolutely, you can copy. And in fact, what did I do, guys, in the beginning? What did I do? How did I get this file? I copied it, right? I took it from the team content, and I copied that file. See, that's your data. I created this folder for you. And you will have to do this. You will have to go in and copy, see? Copy. And again, you do not see assignment 2 because you have to do that pre-assignment first. Because here is the thing. People are tempted to do it. It's a temptation. So you see 2 assignments. This little pre-assignment has a smaller value. People are tempted to start with assignment that has a higher value, but the problem is you don't know how to do assignment 2 until you tested your access, until you got the basics first, right? Oh, most welcome. People, I want you to ask questions. I like questions, so let me go up, see if I missed anything. So I showed how to log into Cognos, right? Okay. I talked about this. Okay, are we going to write? Yes, you're going to write a paper. And yes, you can save, the work is on the system and you can make copies. It's all yours, right? I'm not deleting anything. Oh, another thing I need to say, some of you, if you registered for this course before, if you had an account before, you still have it. You still have access to your work, okay? I'm not a monster. I don't delete anybody, okay? So you're given access. The only piece that I have no control over is how it's set up on the Citrix. Because that piece, right? That Citrix workspace here, this is handled by the script. When you register for the course, it added you here to this page. What I did was I created your Cognos accounts and the permissions. This piece I handle because I'm an admin. So, and if there is an issue, I can log into your account and check. See the admin part. So, and the group projects, I'm going to be setting that up. And don't worry, that will be taken care of. So new task is just to learn and enjoy the course. Okay? Any other questions? Please go ahead and ask. I'm recording this, so go ahead, don't be shy. Okay, can you go over? Okay, so well, yes, I'm going to the slide. Which login, to the VDA or to the Cognos? Because you need to go to the VDA first, and then you need to log into the Cognos. Well, this is a Cognos. Well, this is a Cognos login screen, right? This is going to be your university. It's a username. That's a part. You have you have email that ends with student.umgc.edu, right? Most of you have that email. Well, if you are faculty, then contact me. Well, sometimes faculties take data 610, I'm aware. If you're faculty, you may contact me and I'll tell you what your username is. Because even if you're faculty, if you registered for the course, you should have student email. Okay? So that piece, and this is the password. It's the same for everyone. I just make it easy. Yes, you will get the PowerPoint file. Absolutely. So what's going to happen right now? The session was almost 2 hours. There is a converter that's going to convert the recording. The recording is not available immediately. It's going to take a few hours. So probably tomorrow morning, I'm gonna put this recording on the YouTube, and I'm gonna send the link to. Well, you're gonna get the copy. Your professors for sure is gonna have a link, and I'm going to give a copy of the slides. It will be posted in a classroom. But I don't have access to post on classrooms, right? I don't have access to it. Your professor has to do that. So that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna provide everything and you will have access, okay? And we're gonna meet again in 4 weeks, so please mark your calendar, all right? Let's see. Oh, most welcome, most welcome. So as soon as possible, verify, you don't want to wait. And this is a secret on how to buy yourself more time for assignment 2. Get this getting started assignment out of the way as soon as possible. You have more time for assignment 2, right? Assignment 2, the data set is housing data. Little secret. You'll be looking at the target column is the house value. You're predicting the house value. Okay, so I just gave you a hint. That's it. Everything else is have fun with and explore. Okay? Any other questions for me while I'm still here? I know it's a lot. You will need to watch it again and again and again and again. That's a part of the learning. Okay, if there are no questions, we're gonna call it a night, and I hope you guys enjoy using this application. Okay? So I'm gonna stop the recording. And oh wait, there's something. Oh, most welcome, guys. So gonna stop recording.